بلاصه غزاله، بلاصه جديده ان شاء الله. حنا دابا ماشيين لسان انطونيو. نتمنى الفيديو يعجبكم والبلاصه اللي غنديكم اليوم يعجبكم بزاف. يلا هو معايا. شتي كي الترافيك كيف داير؟ انتم شنو بالك الا خديت الموطور هذا الصيف؟ شاهدين معايا بلي قلتي الموطور ماشي مشكل.
وي ما خليكش تشري واخا ما نشري.
بيكالا
بيكالا غير حدا كتاخديها وتبقى الدار غير تما.
وشكون اللي كندور بها غتما ولا مشيت بها للهاي واي؟ نمشي في الجنب ديال الهاي واي.
نو واي.
وشنو الفرق بين بيكالا والموطور؟ بلاش بيهم عرياني.
لا ولكن الموطور في الجدرة ديالو كيدير لا فيتاس.
ها البيكالا حقرتيها مسكينه.
لا مشات ماشي الكذا.
سو دائما كنقول لها الفكره ديال ناخذ موطور باش نبقى نتحرك به في الصيف ولا بعد نوت متر شقليه. دائما كتقول لك لا 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 لا. دابا قالت لك ماشي مشكل. صافي رجعتي في الكلام. Yes is a yes. Yes is a yes. That's what she said. هادشي اللي قالت. يبان بلي خصك عليا.
الفيورز كيسمعوا ما كاين نو از نو.
ايوا يخليك ليلي يخليك ليلي يا غزالي ونطير معاك في العلالي. سوا حنا في سان انطونيو دابا. هذا هو الريفر ووك. هنايا دونك خاصنا نشوفو غير شي بلاصه نباركيو فيها هنايا او لا كاين بابليك باركينغ.
ولكن حنا غادي نتمشاو بزاف.
لا عادي.
فين كدا باركينا واحد النهار.
سو هادي سان انطونيو. حنا الناس كيقطعوا هنايا بلا ما خاص. ها دابا عاد يمكن لينا نقطعوا. حنا دابا بنتمشى. شو الزنقه خاويه. It is nice. شتي الريفر ووك. احنا غاديين. نا 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 نا
الجمعة نهزو شي وحده ندير لك كسكسو.
ندير على شي وحده الكسكسو. يلا جا مرحبا بكم. غدا نديرو الكسكسو على وحده فيهم. فين هي اللي فيها الحيمه اكثر؟ هذيك اللي لهيها. ايوا صافي. حنا كنتمشاو هنايا كنحاولوا نشوفوا نوقفوا في الجهه اللي كيكون فيه هذاك الباطو باش نركبوا فيه ونوريكم داك المنظر كي كيكون غزال 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 من فوق داك الباطو. زعما زوين والله الا بوغوس. زوين 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 والله الا بوغوس. فرتوته. يا حوته. سو ها هاد الباطو اللي بغيت نركب فيه دابا نركبوا فيه ان شاء الله. عرفتي غزال الجو هنايا والمنظر كيحمل. سو حنا دابا طلعنا للباطو. صافي ما كيعمر. قال لك غادي يديروا غير 10 كل واحد على ود المرض اللي كاين ومن بعد غادي يقلع بينا ونبداو الدوره ديالتنا. المهم هانتوما داكشي كيداير.
some back families. Now we're getting into the Arneson Theater. It's an open-air theater. It seats 800 people. It's named after Edwin P. Arneson. He was the chief engineer of the Works Project Administration that completed the Riverwalk back in 1941. Take a look to the right here at the stage. You might recognize it from Miss Congeniality. We had Sandra Bullock up there dancing around in a bathing suit. And now we're heading under Rosita's Bridge. Rosita Fernandez played on that stage for 26 years in the show Fiesta Noche del Rio, which is still in production today. They should be in season number 64 right now, but that's been postponed until next year. They play every Friday and Saturday night during the summer. Over here to the right, the Briscoe Western Art Museum, that just recently opened. A lot of different artwork showing the history of the West, as well as an interactive diorama, the Battle of the Alamo. Actually, a saddle and Santa Anna's sword are on display in there. Now we're going to be heading under the Presses Street Bridge coming up. This is a solid iron bridge. I think you're going to hit your head on it, but trust me, if you don't stand up, you'll be fine. On the other hanging out there as well. Oh, that's going to go there. It is up ahead on the right after this bridge. You'll see a small island with an iron sculpture on it. The sculpture is known as Father Massenet's table. That was a gift from artist Rolando Briceño in 1991. It's put there to commemorate the first Catholic Mass. It took place in San Antonio on June 13, 1691. There's also a heart-shaped island known as Marriage Island. We have over 300 weddings that take place there every year. We had 2 this last Saturday. Normally we have about 5 to 10 a weekend. On the other side of the bridge we have Divorce Island. If it's here, that was part of the river. It's actually known as Old Mill Crossing. Back in the 1800s, Matt Lewis had his mill on the right bank. He would grind grain for the settlers. And this was also a very shallow part of the river. Settlers could cross, they watered their horses. Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders used to train in 1928. It used to be called the Smith-Young Tower. You look all the way up to the top of the tower, you'll see these concrete structures jutting out of each to 8 corners. Those are known as gargoyles. They serve as a rain drainage system. When it rains, the water comes out of the gargoyles' mouths into the gutters below. Now, if you look just above the trees over here to the left, you'll see these angry little scary faces kind of snarling down at you. Those are known as grotesques. Now, the whole building is an example of neo-Gothic architecture. The original owners, Smith and Young, were fairly superstitious. They put all these things in place to ward off evil spirits and bad business. Unfortunately, 1 year after the building opened, the stock market crashed. 1929. It cost them over $3 million to build it. They had to sell it for less than $30,000. Doesn't say much for gargoyles. I'll show you a neat little effect. If you take a look back at the Tower Life building, you'll notice that it transformed into a ship. Looks like it's coming onto the river right behind us. You have to use your imagination just a little bit. There's a little Leonardo DiCaprio hanging out the front of it. So the Conservation Society was formed in 1924, and directly in front of us is Old Big Red. That's a Bexar County courthouse built in 1896. It's made of red sandstone and granite. One of the oldest and largest continuously operating courthouses in Texas. That is part of the river that we've been on. This is all the natural flow of the river. It's a natural horseshoe bend. The river flows to the left. We're going to head to the right into a man-made part. We're entering into the flood channel. We just left through Floodgate 4. Now when it rains really hard, Floodgate 4 will rise up out of the water like a drawbridge. Keeps the water at the exact same level in the horseshoe bend at all times. So there's never any flooding back there. The hotels, the mall, the restaurants, all completely safe from flooding. That doesn't rain very often. San Antonio did a bit this week. We can always use some more. When it does rain, it can rain really hard, really fast. And flooding used to be a huge problem for downtown. In 1921, we had a flood that caused a lot of death. Just did a lot of property damage. So the Army Corps of Engineers came in here, built this flood channel for us. That put an end to all our downtown flooding problems. So there were a lot of prominent businessmen that wanted to fill in and pave over that other part of the river. Now, since this is a man-made part of the river, there's no natural flow to it. This part of the river is lined with concrete. The rest of the river has a mud bottom. And there are still a whole lot of critters that live here that don't realize that this is man-made. We have tilapia, sunfish, crawfish, a whole lot of snakes. We've got turtles too. Turtles are nice. So they built this waterfall that's coming up on the right. This waterfall helps keep the water flowing, keeps it filtered in airways, and keeps the critters alive as well. And into the right here, over the wall through the clearing, you'll see a tower. Like the Jetson's house up there. That's the Tower of the Americas. That's the centerpiece of the hemisphere of 1916. Also the second tallest freestanding tower in the United States. And it's second only to the stratosphere.
هنا في تكساس، هنا في سان أنطونيو، خليك كتطلع بها حتى الفوق، كتركب بها كتوريك داون تاون، كتوريك ديال سان انطونيو.
We can't go back. Not exactly sure why, but we must have made some. Has everyone had a chance to get to the shops at River Center? If you haven't, I don't want to ruin the surprise for you, but it's a mall. Not like every other mall you've ever been to, but it sits on the banks of a river. Yes, that makes it kind of special. We're headed to the River Center Mall Lagoon right now. You can check it out for yourself. Our mall has 125 stores. There's a food court, an IMAX theater, a comedy club. There's also a purple store. If you like purple stuff, holy stuff. Apparently there's a demand for purple things I'm unaware of. It's been very popular. Got a lemon tree over here to the left. Little green lemons on it. Be big and yellow soon enough. We've got an orange tree coming up on the left with little green oranges. We've got a lot of fruit trees on the river. We have orange, lemon, lime, banana, papaya, avocado, pomegranate, loquat, and fig. Usually get there by one of our Rio shuttles. Unfortunately, the Rio shuttles have also been postponed for a while. If they weren't, they take you through a lock. You raise 9 feet.
هنا كاينين دي ريستورون، كاين بلاصة الماكلة، بلاصة المشروبات، كاين المول ديك الجهة اللي بغيتي تتغدا كحوايج ولا شي حاجة. هنايا كاين زعما كاين اي زعما كاين بزاف ديال انواع ديال الاكلات. كاين الماكله ديال المكسيك، كاين الماكله الامريكيه، كاين السي فود، كاين حاجات الماكله اللي بغيتي، هاد النوع اللي بغيتي كاين.
Now, San Antonio, we don't like to tear down any of our old buildings, so what they did with the Fairmont, they loaded it up on pneumatic tires, and they moved it 6 city blocks to where it is today, on the corner of South Alamo and Warda. That move is in the Guinness Book of World Records, so we have the largest building moved that great of a distance. The record has recently been beaten, 1691, which is the feast day of St. Anthony. So they called the river the San Antonio River. Now, prior to that, the river was known as Warda, which is a Indian dialect of the place. It is up to the right here, through the trees up at street level, you'll see the top of a church steeple. At St. Joseph's Catholic Church up there, it was built in 1868. And it was built by German settlers. Now back in the 1800s, this whole area was usually populated by Germans. They wanted to have a church they could down for. We didn't have a whole lot of places to put them. That hotel was booked solid 14 months before Hemisphere. All 500 rooms were completely booked. Now the big problem with that is there was no hotel there. It's just an empty space. So they needed to get a hotel built very quickly. What they did is they called on a graduate from Texas A&M University by the name of A.C. Zachary. And how he did it is about 8 miles south of here. He constructed every room, complete with a carpet on the floors, pictures on the walls, soaps in the dishes, towels on the racks, Bibles in the drawers. The beds were made. He loaded those rooms on flatbed trucks, drove them into town, hoisted them up by crane, and stacked them one on top of another like Lego blocks. We're about to come in front of the building here. It's going to be on the left. When we do, take a look past the first 4 floors. They took weekends off. So it was about 9 months' time. When they finished, it was just 3 days before Hemisphere. A really close call. That does just about take us to the end of the tour. Get back where we started. Make sure you take a look around your seats. Make sure you haven't forgotten anything. Hope you had a great time on the tour. So you know, tipping is allowed. It's accepted. It's greatly appreciated by our drivers. I'm going to tie the boat down here. Give me a second to get everything secured before you stand up. I'll let you know when it's safe to stand up and exit. Enjoy the rest of your time here. Have a great day. Thanks for coming out to the San Antonio River.
شو هاد البطاك كيف كدير؟ وياه شوف الرجيلات. سمعتنا قبيله كنقولوا غنشدو شي وحده نديرو بها الكسكسو، وانتم دابا شنو كدير؟ زعما الا شديتوني غير قليوني. عاد كتشوفوا المارياتشي. اهلا راك سبقتني. اليوم سالينا درنا التور، سالينا ها دابا غادي نمشيو ناكلو في واحد البلاصه عند واحد المغربي كيصايب ماكله مغربيه. وغادي نمشيو عنده، عرفتي حيت فينا الجوع غنمشيو ناكلو. من تما غادي نعاودو نزيدو نسرك لكم واحد شويه عاد وراكم موجودين. يلا معنا. عرفتي الموت ديال الجوع فينا. قالك ديك المثله الكرش ملي كتشبع كتقول للراس غني. حنا ملي كنجوعو عاد كنغنيو. ويا لا. عنده واحد الغيستورون هنا غير على قد الحال الغيستورون ديالو، مي الماكله عنده كتحمق. ماكله او انا ما كنطيبش بحالها. ماكله كيب ستريت يعني نيشان ماكله غزاله. وشحال هادي بصراحه مسكين عيطت له قلت له راه حنا ما جايين باش ناكلو عنده، مع شحال هادي ما جيتش لهنا لسان انطونيو، شحال ماشي شحال ما جيتش جيت لسان انطونيو، مي شحال هادي ما كليتش عنده، ما كليت حتى بلاصه في سان انطونيو اصلا، لحقاش وقت ما كنجينا لسان انطونيو كنجي ناكل عنده غير هو، والماكله عنده واعره. وملي عيطت له قلت له راه حنا ما جايين ناكلو عنده، عرفتي مسكين فرح قداش. سوبر ديليشيس يس. سو ان شاء الله غنمشيو عنده. يلا هو معانا تاكلوا الطاجين، الطاجين فاتي إيقاسان كسان. ايوا يلا جينا لعندو هنايا، هي مروكن كويزين شفتيوها. يلا الا جيتو سان انطونيو انا دابا نحط لكم اللوكيشن ديالو. طريات مغربيه اها تما الديكورات ديال المغرب. جيت ناكل هادي اللي نحل.
احسن حاجه تتبدايها من الاول
حلها لي شنو الله
هذه طنجيه
الله عرفتي واحد الريحه كتطلع فيها كتحمر والله لا شميتها مازال كاع ما حليتهاش. كنت كنقول لك كنشم ريحه القرفه.
المروزيه ماشي
الله
هذيك راه المروزيه.
الله يعطيك الصحه. كاينه هادي باش نشوف هادي. انا راني فيما مشيت كندخل دايره ضربه. لا الله يعطيك الصحه. هانتما البرادات هنايا، سكارة المغرب، طاجينات. ايوا شفتي ومرحبا بكم. هاكا الطاجينه اخر الفوق. ها هو الطبس الاولاني وصل. دابا انا كنتسنى في المريقه ديالي. هي نبدا دابا بالسلطه. هانتما فيها سبينه، كيوي، خيزو، مطيشه، الفجل خيزو من داكشي. هانا المريقه ديالي وصلات. الله يعطيك الصحه. اجي جلس.
بارك الله عليك. كون خليت فيه شي حاجه غتسولني دابا.
ها مول الشي مسكين الله يجازيه بخير. الله يعمر هذا. ايوا ها هو العشاء وصل. مرحبا بكم اجيو تعشاو معنا عشاء مغربي. ها هي الشلاضه. ها انتم كتشوفوا مريقه بدجاج مصير الزيتون والفريت، وها الخبز، وها هي فانطا. ها هي شفتيوها. وها كوكا لهاد الجهه خوات. صافي يلا جاو مرحبا بكم. المرقه ما شاء الله تبارك الله داكت. والله هانتوما شوفوا مخيره بالصحه. ضميره مغربيه يعطيك الصحه. حنا دابا تعشينا وسالينا. حنا دابا الحمد لله الكرش ديالنا بغا طرطق. دوزنا نهار سان انطونيو. نتمنى يكون الفيديو يعجبكم، وان شاء الله النوبه الجايه نشوفوا بلاصه واحده اخرى ولا نديروا شي حاجه اخرى مازال ما عرفتش. نتمنى الفيديو يكون عجبكم بزاف وتصبحوا على خير. حتى الفيديو الجاي ان شاء الله ونشوفكم. كنموت عليكم بزاف.